Texans. Right now, probably the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year. See Dan Quinn, the defensive coordinator. He deserves a ton of credit for this turnaround. Remember, before he got here, KB, this defense was towards the bottom of the league in almost every category. And now in his second year, as you mentioned, they're as good as it gets in almost every category.
Dillon right side, and he gets down to the 45, bring up a 3rd down and 2. So the Packers staying with the run in the early going in this game. They're just trying to get their offense going. I mean, they're averaging 17 points a game, which is 27th in the league. You just don't expect an Aaron Rodgers-led offense to be the bottom of the league.
It's definitely a different brand of offense than they're accustomed to seeing, especially in the Matt LaFleur era these last couple years, when they've been one of the top scoring offenses in the league since he's gotten here.
That's been multiple errors. You saw that last time they had an offense like this. They traded for Brett Favre. Holy cow, 3rd and 2 right here. On the run again, and surging forward is Dillon. That'll move the chain. So the ground game on this opening drive for Green Bay, and it's a good-looking drive.
You mentioned all those pass rushers that Dallas has, right? You see a bunch of them right now coming on the field. A little bit of a hockey line change. They try to keep those guys up front fresh to rush the passer. Oftentimes, the best way to negate a pass rush is to run right at them.
Go Jones and Dillon in the backfield this time. Right inside, Dillon. Dillon inside the 40, down to about the 36. You know, they use this 2-back little scuffle there with Fowler and DeGuara. They use this 2-back formation a lot earlier in the year. They've kind of gone away from it in recent weeks.
They have, and again, I'm not exactly sure. You mentioned all the injuries they've had, especially at the skill positions. You have to imagine, if you took a look and you said, what are the best 11 in Green Bay? A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones, they're in that best 11. So don't be surprised today, especially with the emphasis on the run game, to see those guys out there together.
Working with that hard count. It's Rodgers back over the middle. It's dropped. Watson had it right in his hands. And that has been part of the story, too.
It has. This Green Bay group of receivers, they've got more drops than they had all last year. You see them, just a simple little short 8 route. You hit your outside right foot, you make the little post. Take a look at this. I mean, last year, fewest drops in the league. We're barely halfway through the season.
Greg, Watson dropped the first pass of the season, which would have been a 75-yard touchdown. It's really been symbolic of their year. So it makes it third.
Couldn't quite tell if the ball hit the ground. Let's take a look here. Yeah, no, he never had it. That's just another bad drop. I mean, just hate to see it for a young guy. He has such upside. He's so big. He can run. He's fast. Just catching the ball has been a struggle, and a lot of it just becomes mental. You see right now, Matt LaFleur was the first one to greet him on the sidelines.
Yeah, I mean, those two right in his hands, got to have it. 54 yards for Crosby. The longest in warm-ups for him was 53. Going to put this one up, and it's going to be no good. An encouraging opening drive, but then after a couple of drops, Crosby goes for a long one, and he's no good from 54. Yeah, I see Crosby, longest on the year, is only 48. In warm-ups, 53 was the max. That was 54, so an interesting call there on 4th and 5. So the Cowboys go 3 and out. Packers put together a nice drive, and then a couple of drops and a missed field goal, and now it's Dallas's turn, taking over at the 44. Pollard works his way up to the 48. And so this offense, it's pretty amazing to think how it all started. Dak Prescott got hurt week 1 with a thumb injury. He goes out. They look terrible against Tampa Bay, and you're like, oh, my goodness. Well, Cooper Rush went 4-1, and now that Prescott's back, their offense is taking it to another gear.
Yeah, these last 2 weeks since Dak's been back, the 2 games before the bye, especially that Bears game. That Bears game is exactly what Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator, Mike McCarthy, that's the offense that they think they can be. If they can hold that, look out.
Play fake. All day, Prescott launches, knocked away, incomplete. Darnell Savage had a chance to maybe intercept that ball, but nonetheless had great coverage.
Yeah, nice coverage. You mentioned Darnell Savage. He's up right in his face. Gets a little jersey pull there. I think that's what Dallas was thinking. See the little pull there. Gets him off balance. I think that's good coverage. That's good, aggressive. Again, nice change of pace. They're kind of known as a soft zone. Keep everything in front of you. They're going to have to get up and challenge these receivers and give time for this pass rush. See all these guys standing up in here. You have to have tight coverage to let these guys get home. Sometimes they come, sometimes they bail.
Coming here, 3rd down. Prescott incomplete. C.D. Lamb, the intended receiver, but sent the blitz, got some pressure, and another impressive stand by Green Bay's D.
Yeah, I really like the plan Green Bay's come out with. We mentioned how important they are to the success of this game overall. They've changed it up. They've gone man. You saw that last drive there. They pressure, they bail. That's a nice zone look. They're not sure exactly who the rushers are going to be. Dak thinks he's got to get the ball out early. They do a nice job filling all the zones behind it.
Yeah, they're not sure who the rushers are going to be because Rashawn Gary got hurt in our game last week, and he's out for the year. He's their best pass rusher. Unfortunately, he's out with an ACL. Anger to punt it away. Rodgers drops it, now picks it up in midair, and just lucky to hold on to the football as we go downstairs to Tom Rinaldi.
Well, we talked a lot about Mike McCarthy's return. It was on Aaron Rodgers' mind as well. He spent part of this week talking with us about his feelings regarding his old head coach, saying, I appreciate the man and the heart. Here you see the greeting between the two of them. They have remained in steady contact. Rodgers telling us he feels like the narrative surrounding the two of them has been misunderstood. In particular, the time that they spent together so often in McCarthy's office on the couch, conversations that could last up to 3 hours long about issues on and off the field. As Rodgers told us, every one of those conversations ended with an I love you and a hug. Every one. And there's a lot to be said for that. There's a lot of love there. A lot of competition right now as Rodgers would desperately love to get a win and turn the pack season around, guys.
There he is, going to hand off again to Jones, who slips and regains his balance as he works his way out to the 19. So interesting with Aaron Jones, obviously getting him involved early. Only 11 touches last week, Greg, and there's been weeks where he has just not gotten the ball at all.
Yeah, and I think there's a few factors to it. I think they view themselves as a 2-back system. They feel that A.J. Dillon has a great role in this scheme, as of course does Aaron Jones. But I think on top of that, the style in which it comes, and we'll point it out as the day goes on, a lot of the called runs in the huddle that are designed for Aaron Jones to get the ball, Aaron Rodgers has the ability to extend those into passes with some of these run solutions. Gets it again, up the gut, nice cut from Jones, surging forward, and a really nice run from Aaron Jones, who's got another first down, and he's feeling it early. This is a great run design. We mentioned this run game. It starts as a toss right. That is a designed cutback. An injured guy down here in the field. It's Leighton Vander Esch. Let's see if we could see where it happened. He was in there on the tackle. So they work on Leighton Vander Esch. Cowboys are lighting the linebacker court today because Anthony Barr is out. He's been a big contributor. And so now they work on Vander Esch, Pro Bowl linebacker. Let's see if he's okay. Yeah, injury is a big factor today for both teams. Told you that no Elliott for Dallas, no Anthony Barr. Green Bay has got just so many guys that are hurt right now. One more look at this play. Vander Esch is 55. It's hard to see exactly what went on in that tackle, what they're tending to as he's down on the ground here. Just hope he's able to get up and get himself off the field under his own power. But you mentioned something to keep our eye on. With Anthony Barr already being out, we'll see what happens here with Vander Esch. on early downs, what they call run downs. We're going to see Micah Parsons. This year he's made a big, you see him, Van Der Esch walking off the field. That's a good sign. Finish that point, Micah Parsons, he's made kind of a transition to a true defensive end, even on first and second down, not just when it's time to rush the passer. But with Anthony Barr out, now Van Der Esch out, that's